Hello guys, this is Kasi. So I just want to quickly break down a trade we took last week. Nas100 Ustec. It was actually a sell setup on the 4 hours time frame. So here was our liquidity. Was just 1:2 plus trade. This guy was the high that was taken away, and this guy was the high that was swept. So what was the idea behind this trade? First thing first, the same entry model. This is what you want to see. Is what I'm looking out for my entry if I'm looking out for a sell. You understand? But then again, I want to see this happen on a supply zone or a major resistance, as the case may be. You understand? So on the 4 hours time frame, I have a higher high, higher low, higher high, hard price create this lower low, lower high, lower low, and high price. This guy is my liquidity, which price came tapped into and dumped. This trade was also called publicly. This was when I called the trade publicly for my students. You can see it. And this was when the trade hit final target. Now, before this trade hit the final target, I was telling my students that in case you're scared of holding, because we held the trade for like 3 days, you can as well close in profit once the market open, because the trade hits target on Sunday night, immediately the market open. So, like I said, this was when I was telling them, and I told them also, if you can hold this trade to final profit. This was when I was telling them, and you can see how everything later played out and hit the final target. This was when the trade hit final profit. Now let's quickly break down this trade. So my entry was on the 4 hours time frame, which you can see. That means my bias is the monthly, weekly, and daily. But then again, there's something I normally do. When I'm a little bit confused, let me make sure this is recording. Okay, it's recording. When I'm a little bit confused on what is happening, I scale down to the to the higher time frame, like the 3 months time frame, to see more, to see the overall view. So if you go to the 3 months time frame, you could see that yes, Nas100 or Ustec, as the case may be, is bullish, totally bullish. But then again, look at this guy here. And we had an imbalance here. We had an imbalance here, which I think price needs to come and fill up for the bias to continue. Now, this is the 3 months time frame. The last 3 months time frame is signaling sell. The last 3 months time frame is actually signaling sell. So right now, sellers are still in charge, and it's going to continue to price fills this imbalance. That is from my own bias. Now coming down to the monthly time Okay, sorry for that. So if you look at the monthly time frame, you would see that, let me zoom it very well. Let's see what is happening. This was the zone we marked out at the 3 months time frame. But if you look at the monthly time frame, you will see that we were meant to have a break, or we are meant to have a break of structure here. Price tried to take away this high, but it couldn't take it away. There was a rejection, and from there, price has been selling. Remember, on the 3 months time frame, I told you that there is an imbalance here. Let me make sure this is actually recorded. Okay. There's an imbalance here, price needs to fill. Now, on the monthly, we're already having a rejection. And last month candlestick is signaling sell, which means this particular green candle tried to break out this guy, but it couldn't. It gave that rejection, which means the last month candle, the red one, printed a sell scenario, which means sellers are still in charge. Now, if you look at the monthly time frame again, if you're to mark out your BOS, this is your last break of structure that happened on the monthly time frame. which means if you bring your fib retracement to and measure from here to here, you see that price is still at the what? Premium zone. You understand? Which means sellers are still what? In charge. You understand? So we want to continue capitalizing on this rejection, on this zone that is being resisted, or this supply or resistance zone, until what? Price taps into this what? Imbalance here for buyers to come in charge. Now coming to the weekly time frame, let's reset the chart. Let me zoom very well so you could see very well. On the weekly time frame, we had this low that was taken away. To see it here, it was taken away, which is fine. And this high wasn't taken away. Yes, this high wasn't taken away. But then again, this low was taken away, which means from here on the weekly time frame, if you look very, very well, you would see that price is doing what? Price is creating some what? Internal structure to the what? To the downside. We had this low that was taken away, which is 1. And we had what? This was when our TP was smashed. You understand? So my setup was formed on this what? This supply zone here. That is on the weekly time frame. Now, on the daily time frame, our setup was formed here, which was this guy, and that was how what? To see on the daily time frame, this was the zone our setup was formed on this supply zone, and that was how we are able to what? To have price print this what? Setup on the 4 hours time frame. You understand? So that is how we capitalized on this sell on the 4 hours time frame. And this was when the trade hit take profit. You can see it here. And this was when I also got notification on my trade hitting take profit on this Nas100. Also, nevertheless, I'm expecting a setup here on this Nas100, which we are waiting on this week, which is what? I'm expecting to sell off this guy as a liquidity and this guy as my what? Protected what? High, and this guy as the high that was swept. So I'm expecting, this is what I'm also expecting, because sellers are still in charge. I'm expecting price to come take away this zone as the liquidity and dump. This is also what I'm expecting. So that was how we were able to capitalize on this Ustec trade, and we made money off it. So for more content like this, and if you like to be seeing more breakdown of my trade, all you need to do is follow us on Instagram, Trade with Cassie. We are also on TikTok, Trade with Cassie. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Trade with Cassie. Thanks for watching. God bless you.